Welcome people of the World Wide Web. So I'm Cypher Sigma, and as the video would show, this is my favourite and top 10 movies of 2023. Now I know my video has come out a little late because I want to watch everything that has kind of come out in this period and be able to give it a clear review from my own opinions. As you would have seen in last year's, obviously because The Way of the Water Cat was released in 2022, I couldn't have it in my movies for 2023. Now this will go for the same for this year. So there are two movies that I did want to see, and I'll pop them up here. I will get to watch these in the next 2 weeks. I was going to do this review after I've watched those two, and if I do like those two, I will maybe have a review. have to kind of go back and think on my 2023 top 10, but I'm not going to include them for now. You know, the Michael Fassbender one looks really, really funny, and obviously the chick flick one I was meant to see with my wife, but we didn't end up going to see it because some of our family were ill. Anyway, so this is my top 10, but I'm going to get into two honourable mentions. So two films that I did like and did not reach the top 10 were first, Wonka. So Wonka I saw recently and I really, really enjoyed. It's a very good family movie. For me, I hadn't had enough time to kind of let it sink in and kind of give it time to compare it against other stuff. And it wasn't like a 10 out of 10 for me to know that it would automatically go in that list. For me, I have to have at least a little bit of time, and obviously with it watching it around the Christmas period and everything else going on, it's a really good movie. Maybe if it had come out a month earlier, it probably would have made it into the top 10. But it didn't, unfortunately. It would sit right 11 or 12, depending on where this one. So my other honourable mention is the movie Air. So this is obviously the Matt Damon one about the Michael Jordan shoes. I absolutely adored this movie. This movie is very well done. It's kind of a sleeper hit that you didn't really know about. The only reason it doesn't sit there is because the subject matter, like, it's interesting for someone who doesn't know about shoes to go in and watch it and learn all about shoes. But once you've kind of learned everything, I don't know how, I will buy it and I will watch it again, but the rewatchability, it's not something I'd watch over and over and over and over again. I think it's something you watch from time to time. And thus, that is the reason why Air does not sit in the top 10 movies. I have them written in front of me, so you have to bear with me. So, let's get into it. So the first off is actually a combination of two movies that came out this year. So this is The Three Musketeers. This is D'Artagnan and Milady. So I did massively love the first movie, and I did really like the second one. Because they are the same sort of story and they are together. I feel like there should have been a third, but I don't think there is going to be. I really liked it, how stuff was shot and filmed, the acting, even though it was in subtitles, just the grittiness and the raw. Really, really loved this. It's kind of a back to basics, which I think has been something I've been missing this year. We have so many films of CG and stuff. I just like prosthetics and stuff, and it just makes it a bit more real. I'd rather have a okay prosthetic or fake tentacle, or arm or something, whatever you'd want on screen, rather than a really rubbish CG looking thing or blue screen where you can tell like the background does it. Most of it just doesn't look good. I think that's just the age we're getting into. So these two are kind of combined together. So The Three Musketeers, D'Artagnan and Milady are number 10. So number 9, this is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. So I did really like this movie. I feel it didn't get enough praise that it should have done. I know it did do well, but obviously it had the 2 reshoots that it had to do due to COVID, which put the price on cost of everything. I know they advertised the stunt at the beginning of Indiana Jones and other movies, and that kind of ruined people wanting to go and see this. But actually, for the 7th movie, I actually really, really liked this. To me, this was like one of the best ones they've done. And for something to have a franchise to stick out so good is a testament, I think, to everybody working on it. I say they should have had more praise, but for me, it sits at number 9. Again, it's part of a franchise, so it's never going to be probably my number 1, unless it's an absolute amazing one. So there we go. So then we have number 8 is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So this was actually quite a surprise. I have been with the Marvel and the DC ones quite, quite deflated on seeing some of them. But this, how they drew you in with the story and the characters and all about Rocket and the cuteness and everything else. Absolutely amazing film. You know, my wife stopped watching the Marvel movies around Endgame and she hasn't watched any of them. And she sat down and watched this one with me a few months ago and absolutely adored it because it is a really well done. You know, James Gunn, when he is on form, he is on absolutely amazing form. And this is a great movie and a great end to a really good trilogy. I know that the second one is a little lackluster, but as I said, for me, this is probably one, if not the best consistent trilogies out there that have ended on such a high. Because there have been other movies, you know, the start is really good, the ending is really good, the middle wavers a little bit, but for me, overall, that works much better. I know people have shouted at me, Iron Man, the middle 2 wasn't that great for me. I did like 1 and 3, but not as much as I like this one. I wasn't a big fan of Captain America 1. 2 and 3 are great movies, but that's me. Again, it's only personal preference. So that is number 8. Number 7 is another third one. So this is Denzel Washington in The Equalizer 3. So again, big fan of Denzel Washington. Loved the first movie. Really was not happy with the second movie. It was so lackluster and all over the place for me that I just... to me, I was like, this third one, I saw the trailer. I was like, meh. It'll be alright, and it actually was so much more better than I expected. Maybe that's why I rate it, but it added heart and a different side of the character, this is what I enjoy. You know, it's a trilogy. That's why they've left it on a really good high, but just the time they took to take kind of him out of the story and you learn more about him and just to familiarise and relate to characters and stuff like this and better character development, you know, whereas it was action in the past, you know, it has a good mix. And this is where I think action movies do well, even though I wouldn't say the third one is a full action movie because it has got a lot more story to it. But it was absolutely an amazing way to end the film. Wasn't what I was expecting in the least, but really thoroughly enjoyed The Equalizer 3. So that was number 7. Number 6, one that has just been released, and this is Jim Caviezel in The Sound of Freedom. So this is a very harsh subject matter movie. This is about child slavery. It is not great, but it is based off true events of a person in America who actually has done something about this. You know, they went through a lot of hardships to get this released. But the fact they did get it released and how much response to that, you know, is one of the best independent movies ever released, which I appreciate. You know, it is startling the statistics that is on this. And if this makes people more aware of what is going on and people at least start to make a change, and this movie is more is worth it going through all this hassle to be produced, because yeah, it is absolutely disgusting of what goes on, specifically in America and stuff. I mean, it goes in other places everywhere and it shouldn't be tolerated anyway, but it's good that there is a film like this putting this out there and filmed in a way that doesn't harm the actors and the kids and that don't know what's going on. I think that was very smart of the director and the cast and crew. So that was number 6, The Sound of Freedom. So number 5, a quite late one in there, and I had to think on how high I put this, and this is Godzilla -1. So I am a big kaiju monster fan, and I saw this before Wonka, so this had more time to sink into me, but it was such an amazing movie, such a callback to the original type of animation, the type of monster movies that they had back in the day, shot very similar to like an older movie with the kind of Japanese animation that they used, but it all worked so well. The story was good, you know, it's not exactly where you expected it, and it kind of leaves a little bit open, which I'm hoping they do something more. It does actually make me want to watch more Godzilla and that type movies, because I don't own that many. I own Godzilla and Gamera are the only ones I kind of focus. But yes, so number 5 was Godzilla -1. So you see there's a lot of franchise movies in here because that's what was like. So number 4 we have is Saw X. So Tobin Bell returns as obviously Jigsaw in this, but this is set after the first movie when he is diagnosed with obviously a brain tumour. And again, a bit like Equalizer 3, this took Jigsaw back to a bit humanising. You know, you got to meet him, you got to understand the condition and what he's going through with life and understanding why he does what he does. Again, I'm not approving going around kidnapping people and putting them in torture devices or anything like that. But this got you, it's humanised him a little bit where you can understand with it and how this went about. And it was such... It's such like someone had kind of done the first one, which was amazing, started the second one, it's just like more traps, more blood, more traps, more blood, more traps, more blood. And someone went, hold on a second, let's take it back to the beginning, let's try to learn, let's try and build this character up. And supposedly there is going to be a Saw 11 with Tobin Bell, so I'm quite interested where that goes. I don't know, part of me feels like 10 should have been the end of it, and then they should have, I think I said in my review, that they should maybe do a TV series, you learn about some of the characters, have it in, and had like a limited series, and then that should tie everything up. Because I mean, how many franchises, horror-wise, are out there that just have so many bad and good movies, and because this is all in the same continuum, tie it up nicely and put it to bed, bring something new out. But that was me, so that was number 4. So number 3 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Absolutely an amazing animated movie. I had mixed expectations for this, but I could not have been proved so much wrong. The art style, the way things were done, is so much better than anything that was released this year. The consistency of the world building. And I say, this is, you are taking a franchise which is almost 40 years old and keeps getting redone each like 10 years or so, and it is still being able to be as good as it has been. And even with Seth Rogen, that I was quite surprised, you know, that the direction he went with the voice actors and stuff like this. I say, it wasn't perfect in my eyes. There was a few, you know, the music was a little bit off in some of the characters, but as an overall, it was a really, really strong animated movie and done in a very nice consistent art style with world building, and I look forward to what the next one brings. I think there's a second one and a TV series off this. So there we are. So number 2, it is Champions. So this is a I can't remember isn't that Woody Harrelson movie. This is kind of a modern day Mighty Ducks movie. He is a basketball assistant coach that gets into a drunk driving situation, and as the court's punishment, so to speak, is he goes to be a coach for a team with special abilities. If that word is acceptable, apologies if it's not, I don't want to offend anyone, but it is with Down syndrome and people like that. And these characters, and they're all played by people who have these conditions, and they do such a well job how it's written, how they all act together. It is funny, you laugh, you almost cry in places, you know, you are rooting for them. The story isn't always where you expect it to go, but it just humanised a bit, and I said then it was nice to kind of have a down-to-earth one. Plus to show people of, you know, that I think there's a message that comes across, you know, that you shouldn't look at somebody all because they are different for whatever reasons. You know, we are all the same. People who look different, have different, can be not very nice people as well as good people, and that's kind of the message that goes across. You know, good people are good people, and we should treat everybody the same, you know. But yeah, absolutely loved Champions. So that is number 2, and then finally my number 1 for the year is Indiana Jones. No, it's not Indiana Jones, I'm only joking. That movie didn't even, probably wouldn't have even made my top 30, let alone my top 10. No, my number 1 movie is A Man Called Otto. This was the very first movie I saw of 2023. It was a surprise. I didn't even know it was there. I thought, oh, Tom Hanks, I'll watch it. Absolutely amazing movie. Not only is it a great movie with great acting and story, and all blends together, but they did a really good job of showing that, like, the trailer didn't give away there's like a bit of a twist. So I'm glad that it didn't have that side of things. There was a few other elements going on that you didn't get to see in the trailer and stuff that it shows you. And again, it was one of these movies that's based on a book, but just everything was there for a reason. it's not a tick box exercise, but not only that, it had, you know, and the fact that they add characters that have certain things going on with them, and it's to kind of highlight stuff like that. And there, you know, this is kind of a little bit of my mental, you know, I try to be a good person. You know, you don't know what people have going on behind the scenes. You know, people have bad days all the time and could say something. Just be a little bit understanding. You know, there are people who are not very nice and not nice all the time. Understandable, that's down on them. If that's what you give out, that's probably what comes back. But if you're a good person, you're having a bad day, just, if you know, maybe if you see somebody like that, or you have a friend and they just open your mind and think about it, because you know, you do not know what's going on behind the scenes. Anyway, that has been my top 10 movies of 2023. What has been your top 10 movies of 2023? Let me know in the comments below if you liked any of the ones I saw. If you didn't even get to see them or didn't even know they were out. Obviously, I've done my forecast for 2024, so I look forward to some really good ones, hopefully in next year. I do notice, and I'm trying to, you know, hopefully there are less franchise movies, but we shall see. Otherwise, I've been Cypher Sigma Screen Time. See you in the next one.